أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى صدق الله العظيم.
In the name of God, the most gracious, the most compassionate. Exalt the name of your Lord, the Most High, who created and proportioned, and who destined and then guided, and who brings out the pasture and then makes it black stubble. We will make you recite, O Muhammad, and you will not forget, except what Allah should will. Indeed, He knows what is declared and what is hidden. And we will ease you towards the easy path. So remind, if the reminder should benefit others who fear God and will be reminded. But the wretched one will avoid it, he who enters the greatest fire, neither dying therein nor living. He has certainly succeeded, he who purifies himself and mentions the name of his Lord in praise. But behold, we still prefer the worldly life. And while the hereafter is better and more enduring. Indeed, this is in the former scriptures, the scriptures of Abraham and Moses.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Peace be upon all of you. All praise is due to Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. May the blessing of Allah be upon all His prophets and all their followers. I am very honored tonight to have among us our officials who, despite their busy schedule, they made the time and the effort to be with us. We really appreciate your time. And also I would like to say that this is an historical moment in the history of the Malden community, because this is for the first time that we have the officials from all levels of the government gathered here with us, and this is awesome and beautiful. So as I said, because this is special, let me shed some light about what Islam stands for, and also how our center and our community here in Malden implement the teaching of Islam. So first of all, at the level of the faith, Islam evolved around the oneness of God, the Tawheed, that the Muslim who follow Islam should worship only one Lord and associate no partner with him. And also the Muslim, they should be thankful and grateful to God for all the blessing and favors that he bestowed upon them. So this faith need to be put in practice, and that's why the Muslim, they pray 5 times a day, they fast during Ramadan, they give the charity, and they go to the pilgrimage at least once in their life if they have the means. So this faith, this belief, and these rituals, if the Muslim is right with his faith, it should produce on him good qualities, good attributes that make him and will make him a good Muslim, an asset for this society. That everybody, wherever they had to meet with the Muslim, they will feel that this is a nice, special person. And this is how Islam wants to reform the society, by reforming people. We can never have a good society where there is love, peace, and brotherhood spread among the components of the society if there is if those people, they don't have good qualities, good morals, character, and good understanding for each other. So our center here, since its creation and establishment in 2006, all the members of the center, they believe positively that they have to carry this message and work hard and make it, spread all over. So, and this was done through the programs and services that we were implementing. So in addition to the religious services that we did, and also the educational that we provided for the Muslim community, Alhamdulillah, we were able to reach to all different components of the society. We were able to carry in partnership some feeding the homeless with a bread of life. We did reach to all the houses of worship, and we had many programs with the Jewish community, with Unitarian Church and others. And Alhamdulillah, that helped us, to know others and they know us, as Islam teach us. But at the civic level, really, I can give credit to our mayor who set this tradition to reach to all the communities, not only Muslim, but this is the 4th or the 5th year that we are gathered here as one family, reaching to each other, trying to learn from each other, and also how we can work together. So thank you for your presence with us today, and God bless you, and thank you for listening.
And so now, Brother Hamid, thank you for that. He mentioned that we have people from 3 levels of government. In case you guys know or don't know what that is, we have someone here from the federal government in Washington, D.C. We have someone from the state legislature, which is in Boston on Beacon Hill. And we have some beloved local officials from City Hall, right? And so those are the 3 levels of government. And so we'll start at the top of the pyramid with our dear friend and Representative Catherine Clark. Catherine Clark represents many different cities in our area. Actually, when I moved my voter registration to my dorm in Cambridge, she was still my representative there. And so that just gives you an idea of how big her district is and how many issues and interest groups she has to serve. But she's here tonight, and to give you just a short story, after a lot of the national stuff that's been happening, a lot of the hate speech going on the national stage, Representative Kathleen Clark called Brother Hamid on his cell phone. She called him, and she called him to express a beautiful word of solidarity. And so that just gives you an idea of who Kathleen Clark is. And she started as a school committee member here in Melrose, right? And so that's that person she is, and she's true to her roots. And so please join me in welcoming Representative Kathleen Clark.
Thank you so much. It is lovely and an honor to be here. And thank you, Brother Hamid, for this very kind invitation to have me come, and for all your leadership in the Malden community and beyond. We are so grateful for your partnership and for your friendship. And I am here with a very esteemed panel of leaders. We are just delighted to have such representation from the city of Malden, and a very special guest with City Councilor from Cambridge, Brother Nadeem. So thank you all for being here. Let's give them a round of applause. And I just wanted to come tonight, and I'm sorry that I cannot stay for the entire presentation, but to just express in a time in our country where I think our values are being challenged, who we are as Americans, where we are a country that is built on the belief that we have the right and freedom to worship however we believe, whatever traditions we have, but that we are all here as equals and Americans, and really one American family. And the rhetoric that we are hearing from people who are wishing to hold the highest position we have politically, President of the United States, setting out to divide us, to look to our fears, and to bring out the worst in what we are. Always too tall for the microphone. But this is not who we are. It's not who we are in Malden. It's not who we are as the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and it's not who we are in the United States. And I just want to tell you that from my family to yours, from my position as a Congresswoman in the House of Representatives, you have far more support and far more love and caring and good wishes for all of you than may appear on the nightly news or what you hear on the radio. We are committed to making sure that what you give to our community, not only the diversity that you bring, but the values that they bring, your families that you are sharing with us, the businesses that have started out of this very community that are helping us build prosperity in Malden and beyond. These are the things that we share. And these are the bonds that are not going to be broken by any political cycle or by any one person or even many people who want to look to fear and not love. We are going to continue to be one community, one American family. And we are going to continue to stand up and fight for our religious freedoms and rights to worship and rights to be recognized for the things that we have in common and the goals that we share. And I hope that you will call on me. I know you have an incredibly supportive city government here in Malden, and it makes a difference. And we are here to support not only the work of Malden and the Commonwealth, but what you need. And I hope that you will come by my office if you have any problems, if you have concerns, because your security, your concerns are ours. But I also hope you will come and just say hello, because the most important thing I can bring is your stories of success, the stories of your families to the halls of Congress, and let them know that we are one family, and we are unified together, and nobody is going to be able to change that. But we are concerned about your security. We want to make sure if there's any way that we can help, that if we can be there for you, that we are. And I know that I raised my 3 sons just down the street in Melrose, and I want my family to be as secure as your family. So as we say in my tradition, in my church, may peace be with you. Thank you for having me.
Because Miss Clark, this is her first time with us, so please accept this little gift. Thank you so much. Thank you for your kind words. And inshallah, we will work together for the good of everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Clark. Just some people that we also like to introduce. Some of them you've seen before. The next person going down, or up, as you may see it, depends on how you look at things, is our State Senator, Mr. Jason Lewis. So without any further ado, our State Senator Jason Lewis.
Assalamu alaikum, peace be with you. Good evening, everybody. It's a great honor to be able to be with you tonight. It's an honor to follow Congresswoman Catherine Clark, who is, we're very fortunate to have her on our side and fighting for us in Washington. She really is a great leader and shares our values. It's an honor tonight, as always, to be with Mayor Christensen, who's a great leader for the city here, and to meet for the first time Councilor Nadeem, and I'm looking forward to hearing his words tonight, and of course the mayor's team, who do such a good job. So, I'm the state senator for the 5th Middlesex District, which means that I represent 6 different communities. So my district's pretty big, but not as big as Catherine Clark's. But each of the communities I represent are kind of like my children. So I can't really play favorites, among the communities. But there's something special about Malden. And when people ask me, I always say it's the incredible diversity that is here in Malden. And when I talk to people about the city and the leadership of the city under Mayor Christensen, what really strikes me is the mayor and the mayor's team, and it starts from the top, doesn't just promote tolerance. That's kind of the basic, that's where you start from, to promote tolerance for different people, different religions, different ethnicities, different ideas. No. The mayor and the city encourage diversity. They want to bring more diversity. They want to support diversity. They want diversity to flourish here in Malden. And that's a wonderful thing. And so when I look around the other communities I represent and other places in Massachusetts and around the country, to me the city of Malden is a model. This is a model community for how to treat all people with respect and with dignity, and to value every single person. And I think the city of Malden, and really a great credit to Mayor Christensen, really promotes that and encourages that idea. Some of you may know I'm an immigrant myself. I was born in the country of South Africa, and I grew up there in the 1970s, which was during the apartheid years. And when we had a terrible, oppressive, racist government that discriminated against people in that country based on the color of their skin. And although I am white, I wasn't subject to that persecution. I saw that firsthand, what that did to people, to families, and to the society as a whole, because it destroys the whole society. And I was very fortunate that I was able to come as a child of 12 years old with my parents and my sisters to live in this great country. And it's been an incredible opportunity for me as an immigrant. I got to have a good public school education. That was in New Jersey. So I still have a soft spot for the Garden State. I got to go to a good college, and I've had good job opportunities, and I'm now raising my own 2 children, married. And that's what's so great about this country, is that it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter if you don't speak English when you get here or what your religion is, that we value you. And this country gives children that opportunity to go to good public schools, just like here in the city of Malden, and to have good opportunities. And we know that sometimes people need a helping hand, because if you come here as an adult and you don't speak English, you may need a little help. That's why the Immigrant Learning Center is such a wonderful resource. Maybe you need a little help with job training, or some help with housing assistance. And that's one of the things that is so important that we try to do both in the city and in the state government as well. So that's really what is the essence of it for me. And I try to stay out of national politics, because like the mayor, we're focused on filling the potholes and making sure that the community is safe and the schools are good. That's what we focus on. But I do have to say, standing before you tonight, that I think it is disgraceful, the words that we hear from somebody like Donald Trump and people like him. It's repugnant. It's not the America that my family came to when I was 12 years old. It's not the the America that you all love and we cherish. And those words are not the words that are shared by the people up here. And as Congresswoman Clark said, many of our leaders in Washington, they do not share those views and those ideas. And in fact, they abhor them. So you do not stand alone. We stand with you. I stand with you. And that's why I said to Brother Hamid several months ago, I want to come and meet with the community, and I want to make sure you know that your elected officials who represent you, that we stand with you. And we listen to you, and we care about what you think and what you feel, and of course, most importantly, we care about your well-being and your safety. And I know you're in great hands with Chief Mullis here, and the mayor, and the whole police department and fire department, and they take good care of the community. But as Congresswoman Clark said, if there's ever anything that I can do, or any of us can do to make sure that your safety, your well-being, your quality of life, is that we're looking out for it, then that's our priority. So I want to thank Brother Hamid. Where are you? He may have left because I'm going on so long, and I apologize. But it's important. But I want to thank Brother Hamid for the opportunity to be with you tonight, and the mayor to indulge, taking some time from the monthly safety meeting to also say a few words. And again, it's great to be with you. It's an honor to be here, and you can count on me, and you can count on all of us up here. We stand with you. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum everybody, and I just want to remind you guys that my name is Liat. I'm 17, I go to Malden High, and I want to thank the mayor of Malden for giving me all the nice snow days. And please welcome with me the mayor of Malden, Gary Christensen.
Assalamu alaikum. I have some good news for you. I seem to have lost my voice, and I know that's something everybody in the community wants to have happen on a regular basis. So I'll be brief, but the other reason is because I really want to get to your questions. These events are meant to be an opportunity for us to come together and figure out how to move our city forward. And I just think it's ironic that I'm standing in front of the Sisters Committee, because just a couple of nights ago, they were up at the Town Line Motel feeding the homeless. Salads, soups, just an impressive approach to helping those that are less fortunate than all of us, and I want to say thank you to them all. I also want to make sure that Malden Access Television gets credit, because they are going to promote this wonderful get-together throughout our city. Thank you, Mr. Khan. And I also just want to make sure everyone here knows that we have these meetings once a month. And there are times when we'll have one at one location, and we may not get back there for a year or possibly 2 years. But when it comes to the OCRC, we are here every year. And again, the format is to to have our police chief, fire chief, and the director of public works talk about some of the things that are going on in their respective departments, and then again, most importantly, to hear what's on your mind and how we can work together to move Malden forward.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to have the police chief, the chief of the fire department, and the chief of the Department of Public Works introduce themselves briefly, just give you an idea of what their jurisdiction is, what they work on, just a quick 30 seconds, and then we'll have our last introduction and we'll get to the meat of the issue. So, thank you.
Thank you, Chief Holler. It's always good to be here. Glad that I'm not a stranger, that most of the times when I walk in this room, everybody knows me. I'm privileged to be your police chief. When I mean your police chief, I am here for you. Okay? So consistent with that, I do look forward to the opportunity to answer any and all questions. I was here recently with the mayor, and I was very happy to tell you that we have recently hired a new cadet on the police department, and he's a member of your faith, and a member of your community. But I also want to say that he was not hired because of that. He was hired because of the content of his character. And it is our blessing that he happens to be representative of your community. So we were able to achieve a great thing by hiring a great new addition to our police department, but also a member of your community, because everything we try to do as a police department, consistent with the city's philosophy, is to make our agency reflective of you. So as always, I look forward to all of your questions, and I always look forward to interacting with you outside of this place and in this place. Today I was already at the halal market, and so I do see you as a part of my daily life. And that is something that means a lot to me, and I will always be honored to come here anytime, but it's always nice to see you outside of this place too. So.
My name is Jack Kalanchi, and I'm the fire chief, and I'd like to echo the words that Chief Malasol also said. It's an honor to be the chief of such a great fire department, and we exist for one reason and one reason only, to help you. I pride myself in my department by saying, when you don't know who to call the fire department. When the expert panic, call the fire department. But once again, we're here for one reason and one reason only, to make your life safer, to help you. Whenever you need help, you give us a call. Thank you.
I'm Bob Knox, the Director of Public Works. Many of you have seen me here, each time we come here and out there on the street and have many engagements with you. But if you don't know what the Department of Public Works does, we handle most of the quality of life issues on the street. As the Senator mentioned, filling potholes and snow plowing, which fortunately this year we don't have to talk about that much. Spring's right around the corner. So we take care of sidewalk repairs, the parks, trees, graffiti, all the quality of life issues, along with working with the police chief, fire chief, and their departments. I'm honored to be the Director of Public Works working for you. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have, and we'll be here all night for you. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, our last, but definitely not least introduction, our dear brother Nadeem Mazen, who's a city councilor from Cambridge, is also here with us tonight. Brother Nadeem Mazen has been a Cambridge city councilor since the fall of 2013. He was an undergrad at MIT, master's at MIT, longtime community member. He got elected in 2013 by the slimmest of margins. We're talking less than 20 votes. But in last fall, when he came up for re-election, and all praise to Allah to this, he came in first place. He came in first place in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and there are 9 city councilors. And so, representing not only Cambridge, but himself and the Muslim community, the only elected Muslim official in Massachusetts, Brother Nadeem Masjid.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You heard some very chipper and positive and wonderful statements. I'm here to give you the real talk. Political talking too. When we engage in events like this, it is always wonderful to see the faces of those who are working so hard behind the scenes. And I'm sure it's also nice for them to be appreciated. But this is the beginning. This is the basics. This is the ground level of relationship building. And relationship building is a whole lot more intensive, as you know, I'm sure, in this community, in the center, and your families. It would be a real shame if you only got to see your kids every time there was a big community event. You want to know that they are accountable to your family values, to your community values, and you want to know where they're going, because you wish the best for them, the same way that we as a community wish the best for our city and for our country. And to that end, as you build relationship, it's incredibly important that you understand what these elected officials have in mind, how you can support them, and frankly, as they make promises and as they go out amongst you, it's really important that you also understand what they're doing for you. And we're not talking about as a group, I'm talking about on an individual basis. Each voter has to understand what you're doing and what they are doing. The ways that we can be consistent and the ways that we can build relationships start on a very pragmatic level. A lot of elected officials spend a lot of time thinking about re-election, and it's a shame because we really want to be doing the work. The easier that you can make it for these folks to get back in with your time, with your support, with your social media, with your dollars, with your votes, the more work we can do together. So it's extremely important that you demonstrate time and time again, not just that you're willing to come to this event, but that you're willing to go out and vote, that you're willing to measure the number of people who vote, that you're willing to measure the number of people who rely on each of the people in the room. I bet some of you command the votes of 1,000 people. I bet some of you command the votes of just a few people. And it's really important that we as a community begin doing the work of measuring and improving what we're able to bring to the table in order to get back to that important community work I talked about. The other thing is that I'm sure many of you are familiar with the principle of fard kifaya. It is like an obligation of sufficiency. It is only met, so the basic principle for, I'm sure for more this side of the room than for this side of the room, but the basic principle is that the government and the people are supposed to make sure that certain basic social justice and human rights principles are being upheld. Basic justice is one of them. Visiting the sick is another one. In today's society, you might say that housing, affordable housing, or a fair-paying job, you might say that that's a basic principle, a basic right. There are a whole host of other things like educational equity and an ability to move up the economic ladder that you may say are part of the American dream. You may also say that they're part of the Islamic mandate. Things we must uphold. What happens when they're not being upheld? What happens when something is going wrong, as it is in America today, where it's tough to get ahead, where the middle class is eroding? It is each and every one of our responsibility to drop what we are doing, to take something that we're passionate about, to take problems that we see in society, and not to do our part by pointing at it and walking away, but to do as these politicians and these administrators do every day, to actually pick up your share of the burden and begin helping. And the first part is showing up, and the second part is showing up consistently. So that's the real talk that I wanted to have together today. I think to the extent that we are a community in solidarity with a much larger community of minorities, minority religions, minority ethnicities, it's really important that we build those bridges and that we demonstrate to our politicians that those relationships are very strong. And I think as we do that, we are, of course, going to hark to the work of the OCRC, the leadership here, the young people here. And I want to see a lot more of us in public office, a lot more of us looking to these politicians for training in becoming those leaders of the next generation. And of course, I want to see a lot more of us creating resources for each other, for local businesses, investment side of things, and of course for candidates who need your financial support and your time. So that's my primer for today. I appreciate you letting me lecture, and I'll return it back to Omar Khushafa. A round of applause, please, briefly for Omar Khushafa.